again on the other side of the coin.
All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. This is our first sort of fan reaction straight off the back of that match. I'll have my review down the track, but over to you, boys. What'd you make out of that game? I mean, we don't do it easy. This is, again, second time around in the Carabao Cup in the penalties, and Kepa the hero again. But yeah, go on, guys.
I mean, from a logical perspective, we got the win. We had to win this game. Simple as that. We want to win every trophy we can. But on a fan perspective, a performance perspective, there was no one out there by Trevor Chalobah that really impressed me today. Havertz got the goal, but again, I don't know what it was watching on TV. I just saw a lackluster passing, bad decision making. The performances weren't promising from some of the fringe players today. They needed to perform well to give them a chance of starting in the tough run of games after November, when it's kind of December period and the February period. But they haven't really done that for me today, and it just looked like a performance where we were hanging in there. The corners at the end part, where we were just trying so desperately to not concede from Lianco and it was Oro Romeo.
They put on the pressure on us right at the end with those corners. Like, Kepa made some big saves.
Exactly, Kepa is the hero today, and me and Jonathan were talking about that save, that led to a goal from Kepa. I don't know what you guys made of that, but I thought it was not Kepa's fault. I thought it was poor defending from Alonso and Sarr that allowed a player to get free in our 6-yard box. And there was
and do you know what, Taron? It wasn't the first time that was poor defending from that side. It was regularly from that side. And I'm not going to sit here and blame Kepa for that goal. It went through his legs. I mean, what's he meant to do?
It was just a silly part defending. And Alonso, I mean, when you're playing left wing back, you still have to defend. Fortunately, the same fragilities are coming back again with Alonso. Poor defending, not tracking your runners, being a bit lackluster in defending. But yeah, we got the win in the end. It's always exciting to watch a penalty shootout at Stamford Bridge. Apart from that, honestly, I'm just going to try and forget about this game as soon as possible and go on to Saturday.
I mean, Johnathan, I'm pretty sure all the way from first half to second half, you probably felt the same way as well. But talk through the penalties for me. How was the atmosphere? Was it buzzing? Because I was up in arms. I was like, Kepa, you're going to do this. I know. I said Kepa was going to save 3 times, but at the end, I mean, it was 2 saves, and Reece James again finishing it off just the way he did against Aston Villa. But how was the mood at Stamford Bridge during the penalties?
I think a little bit of nervousness. Obviously, everyone that they missed and we scored was cheered. But it was tense. You know, when Mount missed, that would have been a great one to go 2-1 ahead. He then obviously missed, 2 very average penalties against Norwich as well. So, it was very tense until I think it was Woodburn or Smallborn hit it over the bar.
Smallborn.
That was. I mean, he had some really good corners, and I said to Taron, he's been really good at dead ball situations, and he absolutely skies one. But look, it doesn't matter how you win in these games. Look, we're not going to remember we've drawn both 1-1 and got through on penalties. It's just the fact that we can get to the latter stages of any tournament. It's just about continuing the winning momentum. But I mean, the first half wasn't great. Okay, we scored just before half-time. We were saying that we need to come out and get a goal. That's exactly what Southampton did, and they put the pressure back on us. So I think it was... The more the game went on, the more I kind of got reminded of the Aston Villa performance, because that really wasn't very good at all. I mean, it just shows that the squad depth is not what we think it is. As soon as we have a few injuries or a bit of rotation, we just don't have the
just on that, Johnathan, the whole squad depth, were you a bit disappointed with some of these players that are getting some minutes in this particular competition, like Ziyech? Let's start with Ziyech, because a lot of people in the live chat were saying, Miz, you better talk about Ziyech. I have to say, another poor performance. Like, you got to come in and nail these games, my man. What would you guys think about Ziyech?
Other than the corner, I thought Ziyech just didn't get on the ball enough, didn't get into the pockets of space. I mean, there were so many times that we were just crying for someone to come and get the ball or to look in behind. Didn't happen. I thought Havertz, other than his goal, I was not massively impressed. I mean, second half really needed to affect the game.
Some of his touches were poor as well, Johnathan.
Very poor physically as well. I mean, he was going up against the centre-back. I think, who was it, Stevens? Or
it was against Lianco.
Lianco, I mean, he was coming up against him, and every single time he was nicking the ball off Havertz. Even when Mount came on, there was still not really any improvement. But I mean, I was looking for Havertz to make a contribution. Other than the goal, I didn't see much. Ziyech did very disappointing. Sal, got on the ball a couple of times, but again, there was a clear gap
Sal,
in the midfield.
there was a header first half, and then second half there was a really nice shot as well,
which
that was
needed it on target, and then there was one that it went out for a corner. But there's no control in the midfield. I mean, Kovacic didn't have his best game. I know he tried, but he didn't have a partner. He was almost a sole man in midfield because Sal just did not help him at all. As I said, as Taron said, we discussed, Chalobah was the only one. He's not really on the periphery either, is he?
I mean, how good
making
is
last-ditch
Chalobah?
challenges, headers, everything. He was the one that...
Interception, clearances,
he wasn't even
the
against
lot.
a bad striker today, was he? He was against Shea Adams, who's a proven Premier League striker. Even if it is a Carabao Cup game, Shea Adams is not an easy striker to dominate. He's been moved over from the right centre-back position to the middle, which is, we all know, a complete different ball game. You need to be in one-on-one situations. You need to be winning every single duel on the ground, in the aerial duels. And Chalobah was near perfection today. He really is looking like one of the stories of the season alongside Loftus-Cheek. Seriously, an absolute shock for him to come back from loan and be performing this well. I think even though we have such great defenders, he is very, very close to being one of the main defenders on our team sheet right now, in my opinion. Even though we have Aspi, Silva, Christensen, even James, who was good there today, I think Chalobah is so close to being one of the main starters at the back. I think every performance, Crystal Palace, the first game, Brentford, he dealt with Tony really well.
Flawless performances.
Every single game. And it's just what you want to see from a young player who's coming through. Unlike, some players who got a chance today, they needed to prove, just like Chalobah did earlier on in the season.
What do you think about Malang Sarr, Taron?
I think he played exactly how I expected. I thought we had a good game against Brentford. Okay, still I felt a mistake against Brentford. I wasn't overly as exaggerated as I think a lot of social media was about Sarr, but he did exactly what he did against Tottenham, exactly what he did against Villa. I was not that confident. Out of position, didn't track the man. There was a couple of times where he just needed to get his head up and pass it, make an easy pass, put himself into trouble. And Alon's slow, just proving that he has a little purple patch, like Barkley does as well, a little purple patch, but over a consistent season, it just doesn't happen. So he clearly, Chilwell was clear of him as a left wing.
I have to ask both of you guys, as soon as Callum Hudson-Odoi was shifted back into the wings again and taken away from right wing back, I thought his game looked a lot better, looked a lot more buzzing. I mean, I know Thomas Tuchel has said that's his favourite position. I just find it so sad that he doesn't regularly see those minutes. I really hope he gets his time again against Newcastle. What do you guys make of Callum's performance today?
I think Tuchel wants some of his players to be really versatile. That's why I feel like he is trying to train him to be a wing back. I think the way I saw it when Tuchel first came in, kind of similar to Antonio Conte, Alonso is that inverted wing back, and Hudson-Odoi is kind of like Victor Moses, kind of driving at people, opening space. That's what I kind of saw. And I feel like Tuchel used his good form from the left wing to kind of say, I'm going to put you right wing back. You can bring that good form into it, use your high confidence and get better in that position. Because let's be honest, apart from Reece James and Aspi, who are very versatile at both positions in the centre-backs as well, we need another right wing back who will deputise in that position. And we could see instantly when Hudson-Odoi went over to the left, he looked more comfortable. He could take it onside. He could go outside. He could link up with Mount. There was one opportunity where he flicked into Havertz. Havertz played into Kovacic, who was kind of running him behind. And then Salisu, who I must say is a great defender, caught up with him straight away.
Bro's a good player.
Kovacic didn't really know what to do in that position, I think. He wasn't sure whether to pass, whether to shoot, whether to take another touch. But I thought he looked better at left wing. But again, we just didn't have the ball enough. I mean, Southampton, if we look at the balance of the game, just like Villa, they probably deserved to win. I think they were probably better. I know they
probably did. Yeah.
The second, as you say, right towards the end, when they had a couple of headers that Kepa saved, they looked difficult to break down at times. I mean, we did get in behind, but we just didn't have the quality in the final third. But
Jonathan, are you surprised that Hasenhüttl, even with let's be honest, they had a few of the starting players not playing. Tino Livramento came off the bench. But that philosophy, high energy, high octane, press, did not allow us to build up. I mean, I must admit, I was a bit surprised of the way they played with their second string team. Do you know what I mean?
It's clearly a mentality and a formation and a style that he breathes throughout his players. I mean, it's a bit different with ours. I mean, we played the same system, but these players cannot play it to anywhere near the same level and intensity of our first 11. Yeah. And it shows. It was a mishmash of players. We were trying to play a style. We don't have the players like Rudiger who's going to drive forward, and link up with Chilwell. We don't have the right centre-back, whether it be Chalobah, whether it be Azpilicueta, to link up with the right wing-back and then go forward. It was difficult. In the midfield, we just didn't have any control of it. And that's why every time the ball was loose and every time Kepa or the defenders had the ball, they weren't sure where to put it. And then you invite the pressure. They're pressing high. They have the intensity. And that's why sometimes we just couldn't get out. And we there was turnover to Southampton. And, they had a little bit more quality in the middle. I feel like they could have taken advantage. I mean, a couple of times when they won it, and Kovacic was caught out or Sal or one of the defenders, they had a bit more quality, going in on goal. you know, it could have been a different story. So a bit like Villa when they missed their chances as well. I mean, they had 2-3 good chances against us. So it's as I said, it's frustrating that we have got to penalties, but it's all about winning the game. So
come on, Chelsea, up the fucking Blues! It's my birthday today,
well,
and I've just won 350 quid on a bet.
Okay, well,
get
good
it!
for you, man. Chelsea, a lot more vocal Chelsea fans than there's been some vocal Southampton fans as well. To be fair, who've made the trip up, but yeah, I think it's just about getting the win. You know, I said it at the start, I said it in the middle, and I say it again. You know, these players are rotation, they're squad players, but they also need to make sure that when they are, you know, asked to come in, they play. And we're not doing that at the moment, which is a bit worrying. But, it's just about getting through to the next round. It'll be very interesting to see who we do draw. You know, Man City have got West Ham away tomorrow. I think Liverpool away to Preston, Burnley, something like that.
I think Preston.
So, you know, West Ham be tough, but other than Liverpool and Man City, I feel like we can probably beat most of the players, teams in the draw, but got to play better than we did tonight. I mean, it's like chalk and cheese. You watch the Norwich game with sort of a better 11, and you watch this game. It's completely contrasting. But
absolutely.
But we're winning penalty shootouts, and Kepa almost now has a presence where opponents just go, he looks like he's going to save this, and it's, you know, showed with small ball and hitting it over. So, I mean, good from Kepa, but yeah, overall, I think Tuchel will be agitated. He was quite animated on the sideline as well.
It was kind of when Reece James scored I think the Chilwell when he scored the penalty.
There was a lot of celebrations.
On the big screen on the Westview, there was just Tuchel like pointing at him like, great, but
because he knew that was, you know, that's the penalty we needed to get ahead. So
I'm sure Tuchel wouldn't have been happy, but I'm sure he wasn't expecting another 7-0 drubbing with the line of his out today. There wasn't really a balance in the midfield. Our wing backs were not great. Nothing really clicked, but like you said, we got the win. We're happy we got the win. But I'm sure, Miz, you're a bit similar to me. You wouldn't see a very good performance again today to go off for a Norwich win. A win is nice, but, you know, we want more. We want to be entertained. We want to feel it in the stadium.
We do. I mean, the fans were frustrated. There was touches and play that, you know, should have happened and didn't. And there was quite a lot of frustration. If we weren't, you know, coming off the back of a 7-0 and top of the league, I think there would have been a lot more frustration. But, you know, it's just about getting the wins and keeping the momentum up. You know, you lose games like this. I remember under Mourinho where we lost a cup game. And, you know, in January, and it just derailed us a little bit. So
especially when you go all the way to the penalties, you don't want to miss out.
Don't want to lose that. But as I said, we just seem like, with Kepa and goal especially, we just seem to kind of have enough in our locker to just get through. And this is the sign of a good team. Look, Tuchel and the squad of players just getting the job done, even though it's not pretty at times. We're top of the league. We've really dug in at times. There's a lot more improvement and better play to come, in my opinion. So.
Just quickly before we wrap things up, boys, I do need to ask you guys, by the way, the background's just reminding me of the times when I went to London. It's just that classic style of buildings, that backdrop, the street lights, so London-like. I can't wait. Next season, hopefully I'll be there. I do need to ask you, boys, Mason Mount's miss, I just hope he doesn't get the social media hate, because I know he's going to get that hate again. He's got a good technique for penalties. I'm not sure what's going on. It seems like he's hitting it in the air too much. He should be really aiming for the corners a little bit.
There's no decisiveness. I feel like it's in his head a little bit about, I've missed one at the weekend, bad one that kind of scored, and this one, I just feel like he just needs to settle down. You know, when he came on, he was a little bit blasé. Just, you know, he's one of our better players. And I think the expectation is always going to be there. We'll always give him time. I mean, he could have done anything tonight off the back of that hat-trick, to be fair. But, yeah, I think, it's got to get better, I think, in these games. But, yeah, I mean, what did you... If you had to pick any of these players to play against Newcastle, who would they be? Because I'd probably only say Chalobah. In terms of the starting 11, I'd say Chalobah and Hudson-Odoi. That is it.
That's the thing. Aspilicueta, I'm not sure if that injury's keeping him out. But on performance-wise today, if Chalobah, I understand his rotation, but on performance-wise, Chalobah should be one of the first names on the score sheet, on the team sheet, sorry. In terms of Havertz, he scored. That was the decisive one. We always talk about strikers, that their main aim is not to play well all the time. It's just to get the decisive moments. Havertz stepped up today and got the goal. If Lukaku would have done that, scored a goal, and played bad, I'm sure all of us would have been saying it was, you know, that's what he's there to do. So he's going to get both ways. Yeah. But in terms, like I said, just Chalobah really performed well today to play his place in the team. I don't really see Kovacic again, but yeah, it was a worrying performance, but we move and we go into Saturday.
Just an interesting one. Instead of Havertz, I was saying this to Taron. No Havertz, obviously. No Lukaku, no Werner. If Havertz we're not so keen on him. Loftus-Cheek as a false nine, as kind of a player up front with Mount and Hudson-Odoi. Just putting it out there.
Just putting it out there. I can see what you're doing, Jonathan. I'd keep the same. I'd probably just leave Havertz up there.
No, I get it. It will be Mount Havertz, Hudson-Odoi. It'll just be. But look, it'll be a tough game. We need to make sure we win that as well. So yeah, obviously, thanks for having us.
Well, so
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, look, thanks for having us. Yeah. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe to this amazing guy's channel. It's great to have these opportunities and come and sort of provide a bit of an insight into what it's like at a game. So yeah, just keep checking it out.
Brilliant. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Kepa, the hero yet again in the Carabao Cup, back-to-back penalties, and his confidence as a goalkeeper from penalty shootouts is just skyrocketing at the moment. It is what it is. We got the win. We now move towards Newcastle. Hope you guys have enjoyed this fans' reaction from the lads straight from the match. They had to watch that live at the stadium, which would have been a bit difficult, but it is what it is. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time.